Hey there, and welcome to my first video on this channel. And in this video, we're going to be taking a look at some of the progress that's been made with the transition from ShiftOS to Project Plex. Now, in case you don't know the story, well, it's a bit of a long one, and I'm not going to go too much into detail, but basically, for personal reasons, I had to discontinue ShiftOS and continue a new project with the same code base because I did not want to let that code base go. But I needed to leave of the game itself because there's a lot of drama that goes on with that game and the community, and it's generally got a bad reputation and one that I cannot really fix. So I decided to take the code base, turn it into a new game, and that's what we're going to do. So throughout this video, you will see remnants of the old ShiftOS mono game codebase inside this game, and unfortunately, there will be that little Project Plex watermark there. That's just because this is a closed source build. We're going to be going open source pretty soon. I want to get more of the transitioning done before I take the game into free open source territory. So for now, there's going to be this little watermark here, so we'll just have to ignore it. So I guess let's get started. As you can see, the main menu looks a lot like ShiftOS. There are some differences though. The little tips of advice down here have been adjusted so they're a bit more random, and you won't see the same tip showing up over and over again. So that's a plus. There's also a new multiplayer button in place of sandbox mode, which I'll get into in a little bit. Over here, where there's usually a bunch of white space, I have taken the liberty of making it so the latest announcement that I post on there is shown in game. Unfortunately, there's no HTML formatting, so yeah. In options, same old stuff. We have, well, it seems the bloom feature's been disabled, but we have resolution and we have full screen. I'm not going to uncheck full screen because it's going to break things, but yeah, we have full screen and resolution is still there. So in community, although it's just the developer dummy text thingy here, this is going to be where you can interact more with the website and the community and this application here, so that's where you can find it. But for now, it's just a dummy text there. Multiplayer, Plex is going to allow you to do online multiplayer, and for now, it's kind of barren because I haven't done a lot of the stuff necessary to get it working. But for the user interface, you can add servers. One thing that ShiftOS didn't have is you can now add custom servers, so that is cool. And it'll soon do LAN server discovering, so when someone else on the network is playing Plex, and you start playing Plex, you'll probably end up being able to join their game, and that'll be pretty cool. That is if they open it up to LAN, so it'll work a lot like Minecraft. But for now, since it's not really working the best, I'm just going to exit the menu. So let's go to campaign. Because that I can show you. Now I've already played through some game, and it appears we're having a bit of a bug with the desktop. This bug's not going to be. It's a bit weird. Sometimes whenever you start the game, you get this bug with the desktop where none of the text draws correctly. But as you can see, it's still using the ShiftOS user interface, and I have a custom skin applied made by Astro called Arnix. But first thing I want to show you is the new Shifter user interface. It's no longer called Shifter. It's going to be called Settings. Right now it's called PlexTheme. Now there's a bit of a bug with the user interface. For example, the menus list down here, if I scroll, you can see it pop in. That's because for performance, we're kind of calling out any controls that aren't visible or aren't completely visible to you, um, to save on CPU time, and it's actually helped the performance quite a bit. Um, if we press Control D, we can see FPS is kind of fluctuating between 50s and 60s, um, but usually with the older user interface drawing routines, it would go really low on FPS depending on what you're doing. But now that we're calling things, it helps the FPS a lot, but it also breaks things. So I have to fix that. But as you can see, the settings user interface is taking a bit of a GNOME settings type of approach. I'll try to overlay what that looks like for those of you who do not use the GNOME desktop environment. But it's basically a system settings application for that desktop environment. And that's the style I went for. So if we click one of these items, for example, App Launcher, it'll take us to the App Launcher category, and we can scroll through all the settings. As you can see, still quite a few bugs. The scroll bar is being a bit wonky. Yeah. Math is hard, okay? Anyway, let's say we wanted to, I don't know, put text on the app launcher. Well, we can come here to this little box and click type here, and it won't show, but okay, maybe that's a bad example because their desktop is kind of broken. But let's see what else we can do. It seems that text throughout the UI isn't actually drawing. That's weird. I'm going to restart the game and see if I can fix that. I hope OBS does not break while I restart the game. That's a good sign. Okay, it's working. As you can see, now that text is actually drawing, we can see where we're going. So we've got the panel clock over here as well as our system name, watercolor. And we've got our app launcher, like usual. I'm just going to check to see if OBS is in fact recording this. Yeah, it is. We're good. Okay, good. A bit of a bug is when you click the app launcher, text doesn't immediately draw. That's because it only draws when the panel clock changes. I have to fix that. So going back into PlexTheme, since we can actually show things off, let's have a look at some of the things we can change. Let's go to the panel buttons and let's go panel button text color. I do believe it's this. Yes, it is. So it'll give us a button to choose color or choose the color. So we pop it open and we get the color picker. Yes, I know it's not like it was in previous ShiftOS, but trust me, this is a lot better because it's gonna fit better with the gameplay. But we can enter the values in. I'm gonna make my panel clock text white. So 255. Now, something cool about the color picker is when you try to enter a character that is not a number, it won't work. If you try to enter one that's over 255, it'll crash. I did not properly fix that, I guess. Oops. Well, that happened. I was gonna quit the game, and not have to do Control-Delete to get out of it. That's what happens when the game crashes in full screen. It's insanely difficult to get out of. Um, yep, argument out of range exception. Knew it. So don't enter a value that's below 0 or above 255. It'll crash your game. I have to fix that. Okay, let's try that again. Alright. Oh, campaign. It's very buggy right now, so we'll have to be patient with it. So let's get out of system status. Actually, no, system status may be helpful for us to see some more things we can do. So we'll go title bar, I guess. So that's one I want to change, and we'll go title text color. Now let's say I wanted to make it okay, we'll invert the colors, I guess. We'll do a funky inversion here. So right now blue is 58. Let's say we wanted to make it blue. A nice light shade of blue, I guess. Could be green, I'm not sure. Now, as soon as I click OK, pay attention to the title text. Well, that was a bad example. Some of them don't really apply. The point I'm trying to get across is you can change the color of UI elements, or you can change the... Okay, you can edit the skin within settings, and it'll immediately apply. That's what I wanted to say. Okay. Now, unfortunately, it didn't really work. But I bet if we open up a new application, and we'll go back into system status, we can find it. Oh, there it is. Now it's blue. So for some things you have to reopen them to get them to work. But let's go back to the panel buttons because I know those are gonna work because of how they're drawn. So let's change the text color once again. And we'll make it the same blue that we went for earlier. I can, okay, 58 and 255. Pay attention to the panel button text. As you can see, it has gone blue. So rather than having a shifter preview, like in previous versions of PlexTheme, you can see settings applied as you change them, which will help speed up skin designing. But of course, skinning isn't the main part of the game. Hacking is. But unfortunately, I can't show off hacking because I have not fully implemented it yet. I haven't even implemented any of it yet because I'm still working on multiplayer and user interface. But yeah, this is hacking right now. As you can see, not really user friendly. In fact, pretty user hostile. And file skimmer, that is slightly working. We can navigate throughout the file system. Yeah, it works a lot like it did in ShiftOS. Still some user interface stuff I want to do, but user local, and we get the english.local file, and open it. And there you go, an infobox with a ShiftOS icon, because it's a temp asset, and I don't actually have an infobox icon yet that works with a dark theme, so I used the ShiftOS logo. But as you can see, we can go into bin, there's nothing there. Boot, nothing there. etc. We get PlexGate, and this is where it stores all the user interface settings and stuff like that. So this is where it stores skins, theme data.plex. We can't open it because it's a .plex file, and you can't edit .plex files unless you use PlexTheme. Let's go home, and this is your desktop folder, your documents, etc. Which, by the way, I will be improving this desktop environment heaps. I will be adding features such as desktop icons, and I will make Windows movable again. But just because I have not implemented all the stuff required for that, it's pretty basic. It's a docking window manager, but it works. It works. It actually goes well with this skin. Anyway, let's see what else there is. There is themes, that is your skin loader from ShiftOS. So we can close it, we can load the default skin, we can import, we can export, and we can apply. But this user interface is going to change drastically, because there's going to be a much better UI in place for skins, trust me. It's going to look a lot better than this. So let's have a look. Plex editor, because this is TextPad. It's very bare bones. I am writing a document. As you can see, it is quite buggy. But keyboard works perfectly. If I can find a way to design a multi-line text editor, I will. But I can't. Because, I don't have a way yet because I don't know how. So, yeah, that's a bit difficult. But, hint, this is using a terminal control, which is why it's kind of buggy. It's not meant to be used that way. It's meant to be used this way. Help. Clear. Status is a bit buggy because it uses tab stops and stuff like that, and it's very weird. Yup. That is not how it's supposed to display. Let's save the game. Missions. The syndicate, that's not implemented yet. We can, let's see what else. Actually, no, we can do debug. We get the debug console. Let's go clear. Help. So we've got clear, connect, describe hackable, describe port, disconnect, drop crash, drop EAS, drop opener, drop saver, drop tutorial, exit, help, infobox, prison, load default skin, loot, ls ports, and set UI tint. Set UI tint is a fun one. Because we can make everything blue. Well then, you are missing an argument with the, oh, I spelled color wrong. 2O is not 1. Oh god, that's hard on the eyes. Let's make it green. There we go. Of course we can drop EAS, prepare for CPU hell. Oh, missing an argument of type ID. As you can see, this is an objective failure screen. So, that's what that does. What? It took me back to the main menu! With the skin loaded. Oh dear. The server took too long to respond. Okay, that means my internet cut out. Oops. Well, that happened. And it's going to crash because the server went offline. Darn it. Okay. Well, anyway, that'll do it for this dev update, this very first dev update of Project Plex. Um, Fortunately, there is not much to show, so yeah, I just wanted to bring you guys a little progress update on it. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. And yeah, I'm back.